YouTube, Bree here. Well, if you're new here, welcome. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. It's that day of the week again, and this time I would like to share a story from when I was in high school. My sister was in the same gym class with me, and this is one of the proudest times that I am of my sister. But it was a really tough time and scarring time in my life, but I would like to share it anyway. We were sorry, I am getting over something. My apologies. And basically, we were in gym class, and we were outside. We were doing football that week, and in other words, if anybody's seen the Charlie Brown cartoons, I got Charlie Brown. So what that generally means, if you don't know that cartoon, is when somebody took a football, and when I went to go kick it, they moved it. That was pretty embarrassing, and they did it to me a good few times. And I went through the whole gym time that day being ignored. I went to go tell the gym teacher. He didn't do anything. I said something to him a good 3 or 4 times, and I eventually gave up. I stood off the side, and they didn't notice. They chose not to see me, and they were participating without me when we were all supposed to participate together. And I slowly walked off the field and sat down. My sister, she noticed I was sitting and asked him, and I was visually very upset. Nobody really gave a rat's butt. And she approached me and asked me what was wrong. I told her what happened in the course of the gym period, and she got very angry. She got everyone's attention, including the gym teacher, and yelled at everybody and say how uncool it was, how they were treating me, and in my sister's style. She is not settled, let's just put it that way. Then she turned to the teacher and asked him, what was wrong with you? And my sister came up to you and told you what's going on, and you didn't do anything. That was me still being visually upset. She was still tearing into the teacher. And I don't know if anything came of it or not. I wanted to forget about it. It was very scarring. And when I went to my class reunion this past summer, I almost busted into tears seeing that field again and being back at the school. But it was like my tenure was a very healing moment. And looking back, I'm still, I've still scarred from it, but one of those shining moments I can look upon my sister, and one of those times I'm very proud of her for sticking up for her family. But there was multiple times that people pulled things similar to that when I was in school, like elementary school. They tried to, one of the kids, there was a sub that day, decided to put glue on my seat, and luckily I caught it before I sat down. There would have been a major mess and a major scene. So, yeah. But there are times in school, multiple times, uh, that I had to stick up for my class, which I was in a special needs program my total school career. And one of those times were that I was in choir class. Again, there was a sub, and there was some girls that were talking amongst themselves, one behind me, two in front of me, off to the side, and they were talking uh, over me, like over my head, thinking I wouldn't hear them. And they were talking nasty about a couple other special needs, visually special needs kids in that particular class. And I got everybody's attention by telling them to knock it off, and they're telling me to be quiet. And I'm like, no, they didn't do anything to you. They're minding their own business, and you're talking crap. Excuse my language, but it just angers me. And I gave them a mouthful, and I made sure the whole class heard me, including the substitute teacher. She asked what was going on. I told her verbatim what the girls were saying, and I don't know exactly what happened after that, but I know for a fact they got in trouble, and I didn't. But those are two instances I've had to endure when I was growing up in school and coping with my TBI. And I just wanted to share that with you. It's just one of the many experiences I've had, but that was during school settings. And I just, it's heartbreaking how people treat other people. It's not okay. It's just not okay. You know, they're minding their own business and trying to get be, you know, cope with the world around them and try to understand, you know, like I said, the world around them, and trying to get their education. There's even instances outside of school, instances that has happened the course of my life. Like there was an instance I was barely together with my significant other, and I was at one of my dad's gigs that night, and there was a woman who had, I believe it was Down syndrome, but she seemed to, I didn't get a chance to interact with her, but she seemed to be really cool and down to earth, minding her own business and visiting with whoever she was with that night. And I was outside talking with my significant other when my dad was, I think, setting up or something. I can't remember what the situation was. I just know I was outside with him and talking with him, and I hear from behind me, somebody called out to her, "Are you waiting? You waiting for the short bus?" Yeah, he had to. My significant other had to hold me back from, you know, in let's just in the short version, than me getting into their face. I'm not the violent type, but I definitely was not happy with it, and said something from the distance, but I don't think they registered that I was talking to them and saying, "What is your problem? They're not doing anything wrong. Leave her alone." And so, yeah, it's, the world is cruel to people with disabilities, and it's just not right. I'm not into politics or anything like that, but it's just this angers me. It's just people are just, you know, some people are just mean to people. They just people or things they don't understand, and it's just not the way to deal with it. Instead of, you know, doing things like that and being mean and being bullies and being part of the problem, is, ask them questions. I can't speak for all of us, but I know, at least for me, and my point of view, I think it's okay to ask them instead of staring and being mean. Approach them and ask them about it. And instead of being a bully, it's just not okay to be a bully. So, but either that's like, there needs to be more people to, be there for people like us. Like I said, it's like in my previous videos, like, I am not sponsored by anyone. I am not with any organization, but you know what? I am one of the, special needs community. From, TBIs, Down syndrome, people in wheelchairs, or depending on crutches to get around, or, somebody, to help, service dogs, or, physical people to help them, you know, you know, navigate the world. And, and it's not okay for people to tease them. It's just been one of my biggest pet peeves. But, as long as, all of us join together and get the word out and be more supportive and sympathetic and, try to understand what's going on instead of teasing them or staring and gawking at them. It's not okay. It's not okay to point and laugh and make fun. It's like, if you want to actually understand something, you should, instead of teasing them, ask them. And maybe you can get a better understanding about what their specific disability they have. The only advocates most of us have is ourselves, and some of us can't speak. And that's even harder in trying to navigate the world. And on top of being teased, we have to deal with, at least with some of us, we can't read or write, or, in my case, I can't look at people in the eye or read or write. I have a, brain age of about maybe a 15-year-old at best. And because of the teasing aspect and the friggin' nastiness of the world, I don't read. Try to read in front of people or try to write in front of people, and afraid of being teased. And I don't really like to be a center of attention or, talk to people. Sometimes, it's like there's a lot of times I overthink things because I feel like because I think back on the conversations I had, or I said something to somebody, it sounded like I was being a total mean, or a better word of, that's the, just, it's like, and I'm afraid that somebody's like either mad at me or just kind of look at me funny because I'm like, the way sometimes how I word things is just doesn't sound right, and it sounds straight out mean, but that's not how I'm trying to say it. It's just how it came out. And it's tough. What else can I say? It's hard. So for the people who are watching this and don't have a TBI or any kind of disability, just try to be patient and understanding. Don't be the part of the problem. Try to be part of the solution. It's tough enough for us to navigate our our lives without nonetheless having people gawk and point at us and make fun of us. It's not. It's hard on our self-esteem, and feeling our sense of our self-worth. But that's literally my point of view, and that's how literally I feel. And I'm pretty sure I'm not alone in this. So just please be kind and just, be part of the solution, not the problem. Um, on that note, let's, you know, be kind, be loving, put a hand out, and, like, if you can help somebody who's having a hard time, disability or not, be, be part of the solution and try to help any way you can. It doesn't take money to help uh, anybody like us. And just, just anyway, it's like it doesn't take money to help. It's a kind word or gesture, things like that. But until next week, thank you for joining me this week. If you like my content or, like to join me on my journey, please push subscribe and the bell button to be notified of my next episode. And these coming weeks, I'm going to start introducing my yarn art. I say yarn art because I do multiple yarn related stuff. Like I crochet and knit, but I crochet more than I knit, but I still enjoy both of them. I also loom and things like that. I do. I'm gonna start because I'm still new. I'm gradually starting to get into this. So I'm gonna to try to put a yarn video out this coming week to like my notions bag and my yarn art tools. So stay tuned for that. And just and take just be kind. And until next week, it takes more muscles to frown than to smile. So enjoy your week, and I'll see you next time.